The deeds of the great and wonderful characters of all time have been sung in song and told in story. But, strange to relate, the astonishing life and amazing exploits of Jehovah of the Jews have never been gathered in popular form for the instruction and entertainment of the public. Perhaps time, the evolver of all things, waited for my appearance to do the work. To start with, Jehovah had no origin, and for infinite ages had lived all by himself in boundless space. From a beginningless antiquity he had leisurely lounged on a gold throne that rested on nothing, the sceptred sovereign of a sunless, starless, earthless, moonless universe. The only light he had was the blaze that blew out of his mouth, and the only vapour was the smoke that steamed from his nostrils. Psalm 18, verse 8. Sharp horns grew out of his fingers, and he carried a two-edged sword in his mouth. Habakkuk chapter 3, verse 4, and Revelation chapter 1, verse 16. If any unknown enemy lurked in the murky space, Jehovah was prepared to meet him. Then, at some time long before the Jews were ever thought of, Jehovah took a handful of nothing and created a host of winged angels. He created them in two classes, seraphim and cherubim, aristocrat and plebeian. For countless ages these angels were his only company. He gave them all golden harps, also made of nothing, and they continually flew around his throne, that shone by the blaze that blew from his mouth, like flocks of pigeons, or June bugs about an electric light, and played and sang, Hoch der Jehovah. After living and reigning thus for billions of eons, Jehovah, as he gazed through the blackness of his boundless domain of emptiness, was struck by the idea of making a world, and filling it with every conceivable sort of creature he could think of. He reasoned that there was more room than he and the angels needed, and besides, a little exercise wouldn't hurt him. So one Sunday morning, something over 6,000 years ago, he went to work, and by Friday night he had everything created. It took him just 6 days to create the earth, the sun, the moon, all the stars, every animal and insect in existence, hills, valleys, forests, oceans, rivers, and fish, a fully grown man and woman, and plant a garden which grew and ripened in a few minutes for the man and woman to live in. All these he made out of the limitless supply of nothing that lay around loose. The only variation of this wonderful creation was that instead of making the woman out of nothing, Jehovah pulled a bone out of the man and made her. This was not because the supply of nothing had given out, but it was to show that the woman owed her existence to the man. The 6 days' work done, Jehovah quit. He was tired. He went back to his throne and took a day's needed rest. The next week Jehovah visited the garden. He pointed out the peach and cherry and plum and pear and apple trees that were laden with fruit. He told the man and woman they could eat of all these, except one lone apple tree that stood in the middle of the garden. This was an extra fine variety, and Jehovah wanted the apples to make hard cider for himself and the angels. He told them if they should eat a solitary apple from that tree, he would cause them to grow old and finally get sick and die. Otherwise the man and woman could live forever and take things easy. Now among the other earthly beings that Jehovah had made during the 6 days he was at work was a snake that walked on its hind legs and spoke Hebrew. He was a captivating creature, was this snake, and one pleasant afternoon, while the man was taking a nap, the snake strolled into the garden and cast soft glances at the woman. Under the shade of the forbidden apple tree the snake and the woman coquetted while her lord and master slept. "Let us eat the juice of the gods," said the snake, as he reached to one of the bending boughs and plucked the luscious-looking fruit. And, alas, the woman did eat. Moreover, she went and awakened her man, and tempted him also to take a bite.